Coming up next is going to be the showcase and the conclusion of the PBW Hack the Block, sponsored by XRP Ledger, or I should say powered by XRP Ledger. I always find the hackathons to be extremely invigorating and a great way to end the day where we can see everyone's hard work and see what people are building in the newest verticals on-chain. At this time, I would like to welcome the moderator for the PBW Hack the Block. I'm proud to present to you David Bchiri, the president of XRPL Commons.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Hi, Christian. I will let you just settle down, find a spot. There's plenty of room for you to sit down. It's almost the end of the Paris Blockchain Week. It's been a long but delightful week for every one of us at XRPL Commons. We started this week, before it even began, with the XRPL Starting Block Hackathon. Hack the Block, not Start the Block. Start the Block was this morning. Hack the Block Hackathon. What I wanted to share with you is this feeling that we had during this hackathon, that we are now at a stage where the projects that are coming to the hackathon that we see on stage are more and more mature. They serve more and more niche use cases. They try to find usage where blockchain really has the potential to move the needle. So we were overwhelmed with more than 150 builders applying for more than 50 projects. It was pretty unique. So I'm here on stage to share with you a few things. First, some of you might wonder, who am I? I'm David Bchiri. I'm the president and founder of XRPL Commons. We're a non-profit that is ecosystem-based. We're headquartered in Paris, but we operate globally. And we have a very simple mission. It is to create favorable conditions for developers, entrepreneurs, researchers, corporate innovators, people that are building to find their way into the XRPL ecosystem and to thrive. And when I say conditions of success, these conditions are pretty simple, yet very hard to create. I'm talking about companies that are sustainable, that can find a market, that can launch a product that people are happy to pay for, people, companies, institutions that are happy to pay for, hence creating career paths for builders. And we've been doing that for more than 3 years now. We launched 3 years ago at the Paris Blockchain Week, so it's always good to come back. It's like our anniversary. It's good to look in the mirror and see what went well in this last year. We have 4 legs on which we build. The first one is at the core of everything we do. It's sharing the knowledge. How do we do that? With a multitude of academic programs, research programs, but also professional trainings. We're running now the XRPL Academy, and it's an invitation for everyone who wants to learn to start their journey in the ecosystem. We have another leg that is shipping product all day, building infrastructure, building dev tools, building products, serving the community as a whole, because we are in this unique position at the crossroad between users and builders. We see what's needed, what's the gap, and we're trying to fill the gap, basically. And in Paris, we're running a very special program. It's called the Aquarium. I see some of you here, our former residents, our alumni. In 3 years, we incubated 93 people. We have about 45 active projects at the moment. Projects that are either live or on the verge to become products to be live on the XRPL. And we're very grateful for this amazing community of people coming from all around the globe, trying to fix a very particular problem that they're facing, wherever they're from. Sometimes these are issues that we don't even know about, because we're in Europe, where we have a strong currency, we have strong financial infrastructure, some of these builders come with a huge trauma, I was going to say, from the financial system, or they come from places where the currency is weak or not reliable. The financial rails are not there or not reliable. People are excluded from the system. And so they come with this idea that blockchain can really change the game where they're from. And we here create this nest where they can come for 3 months and focus on their projects. Switching gears from what we're doing to what they are doing. We've been hosting a number of hackathons in the last 3 years. And this weekend was particular because it was the best in terms of experience, in terms of attendance, and also in terms of maturity of the projects that were presented. So this is a picture of all the cool faces, all the happy faces that attended our hackathon. I'm really, really grateful and really thankful for the team that put together this hackathon in a very short period of time. It took literally 4 weeks from the go to do it to this day, and it was quite a challenge, and they did really well. So kudos. And also very thankful for all the people who participated, because sometimes people come with this idea that they're just going to win. And this time it was clear that everyone who participated came with the goodwill to meet people, to learn something, and maybe to win something on the way. So we are now going to put on stage the winners of these hackathons. Not all of them, but we selected a few of them. And the first prize, we divided them into categories of bounties. The first prize was a prize that granted a project that went from zero, just from the idea, to users. When I say users, I mean real transactions on mainnet with a full-fledged product. And it is quite interesting to see that the project holder, the person who's behind this project, is not a developer. Is a business guy who has been building on a number of blockchain for a few years now, who has successfully reached this place where he can use the tools to his advantage to build something from his ID. So I'm calling on stage Jean-Alexandre right now to present his project XRP 402. You're welcome.
Hi everyone, thanks for being here. So I'm going to present XRP 402, a project we made with my team, of course, who couldn't be there. So XRP 402 is really simple. It's an API database for AI agents. So I used to, when I began vibe coding, of course, I used to have to implement some API keys, for my agents to run. And I quickly figured out that it was quite complex. So we had the idea with my team to create a centralized API database for agents. So we made that, and of course, it is payable on the XRPL ecosystem. So super simple. You have your dashboard. Of course, this is really visual for people to understand, but for AI agents, you can just log onto the page with your wallet and request any API that's listed inside of our system. So on the business part, you have your own dashboard where you could put your API keys, API endpoints, and AI agents can come and pay, of course, your service, and you receive directly on your wallet cryptos. So that's what we did. We actually were able to provide the service for a few people during the hackathon, and we even used our own system on mainnet to help us create the slides. So super useful. And of course, the time to market is here. You know that the AI agent economy is growing really, really fast. So that is why we decided to launch that right now. Thanks for listening. Now I'm going to call Andrew, my mate, for next speech. Thanks.
Thank you, buddy. Hi, everyone. My name's Andrew. I've been working on the XRP Ledger for about 2-3 years now, and I'm an open source contributor. So what I do on a daily basis, I look for people who've got problems, sharing problems, and I implement a solution, usually make it open source, publish it out there, try and get everything moving on the XRP Ledger. Recently, I've been integrating the Internet of Things with the Internet of Value. I've created lots of Internet of Things devices that are monitoring, signing, and all that good stuff. And I'm here to introduce Petty Ledger. Petty Ledger was part of the hackathon, part of the Why Not category. And we threw the category in just there to allow people to experiment, build whatever they wanted to build, a bit of a fun category. And what they did was really amazing. She's not had any experience before, so I'm going to introduce Emma.
Hello, everyone. I'm Emma Murph. I am a narrative strategist, and I'm one half of Petty Ledger. Our other half could not be here today, but luckily, I have this very professional photo of him. So there he is. Diane Bruni, everyone. He is a software and enterprise architect without whom Petty Ledger could not have existed. So let's get into it. We all have petty grievances in life. For example, this Reddit user says, I have a friend who says dude too much. But we have nowhere to put them where they can live forever. So, what if they could be immortalized in the pettiest way possible? And occasionally, the guilty party actually held accountable. So, I give you Petty Ledger. A petty person never forgets, and neither does the blockchain. So just to get into a little bit of how this works, you file your grievance. It gets recorded to the ledger for all eternity immediately. In this case, we have the roommate of Mateo who's upset that he went out to celebrate Barcelona's win and left the kitchen a mess. So we'll have to pretend that Barcelona didn't choke a few days ago. Then you receive a certificate of grievance that you can directly share to social or with the guilty party. And the party is also notified via Telegram bots. But if you're feeling extra petty, because this is Petty Ledger, you can choose a cause that the guilty party would hate. So in this case, of course, it's going to be Real Madrid Foundation. And you can stake a micro donation immediately in the name of the guilty party. So you have two choices here. You can either donate right away with no warning, or you can set a time for them to correct the behavior. In this case, they'll also be notified that the clock is ticking and they have a certain amount of time. And you also will have the chance to manage your grievances, to remove the charge if they correct the behavior, because maybe you have many petty grievances going at once. So we've got a Telegram AI agent to help with that. If they still fail, shame on them. The world will know. They will get this certificate. You'll receive it as well, confirming that the transaction has gone through, and you can share it to social and roast them. A little bit about why it works very quickly. We're playing with social cost here, essentially. So yes, there's a small financial stake on the part of the petty person, but we're also combining that with public accountability, which is far more effective than most behavioral apps on the market. So you can see here, Mateo's friends are already roasting him and welcoming him to the Real Madrid fan club. I'm going to move quickly through some of this stuff so we can leave a little bit of time. Here, though, I have a QR code for you all. It's up on testnet, so you're welcome to scan it if you would like to try filing your own petty grievances. And justice, however small, stay petty.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Yep. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. I am Marc-Kilian Zinenberg. Co-chairman of KRYPTOSPHERE Europe, leading association around tech and blockchain in Europe. And alongside this, I'm interning as a quant product at Kaiko. But today, we are here to reward teams that stood out for the usage, of course, of XRP Ledger around, the good, the common good, and yeah, the goal was, to face, as you may know, our generation face a biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenge around climate change and financial exclusion. So we were looking for teams that that had a vision about this and implement a project to have a really good vision around this. So today we have 2 winners actually, and one of them is building an infrastructure, so a privacy around privacy for women's healthcare. And so I invite you to a round of applause for them, and yeah, for the Impact Prize.
All right, let's see if this works. Ooh. Okay, here we are. We are here because safe care shouldn't depend on where you live. In Europe, currently every year there's 600,000 people that cross the border for healthcare services. And if we only consider the number of women, that's a reported amount of 150,000 women that cross to another EU country just for healthcare access. Yet, there's 143 billion euros from the European Union that is meant to support these women to seek better healthcare access in other EU countries. So we're here to provide a solution to this problem where the funds exist, but they're not reaching the people that need them the most. Concretely, we're offering support to women that need to access a basic human right, a fundamental human right, the right to abortion, to then potentially expand it to other healthcare services. What this shows is that, well, there are currently 6 countries in the EU for which abortion is still illegal. This means that for the women that live in those countries, they're confronted with 3 equally difficult choices. The first one is to travel to another country and pay for everything out of their own pocket, from transport to treatment. The second one is to seek treatment domestically, but underground, so potentially with more risk. And then the last one is to ask for support from international organizations, hoping that they reply before the treatment window expires. And this is without even mentioning the fact that there's whistleblowing risk that could potentially send them to jail. So what this shows is that it's not because it's illegal that women are going to stop requesting it. It's a need. However, it created a fragmented system that is in dire need of trust. And that's where we come in. So with our solution, we created one platform that provides safe, trustworthy, audit-ready transactions. The user can go from, and the patient can go from A to Z without paying 1 cent and without even realizing that they're relying on blockchain to do it. Concretely, the patient sends a request by entering their health insurance details, and once that request is confirmed, the funds are locked on an escrow. A user-specific hash is also generated, such that when the user gets to the clinic, they provide the same information, and then we see if their identity matches with the hash that is generated to then confirm the treatment, so the patient can get treated, and also release the payment on for the clinic. We also thought here of a business model, but definitely interesting to develop this further. So what we do is help women get access to a right that they need, but also a right that they deserve. This is applicable to healthcare, but it could be easily, well, it's applicable to abortion, but it could be easily applicable to healthcare in general. So we definitely want to keep this going. You can see there is our team after 31 hours of non-stop coding, but I'm pretty sure we look the same in real life. So if you like what we do, definitely come have a chat with us, and don't hesitate to scan the QR code at the top just to play around with our MVP. Thank you.
And we're calling now our second winner for the Impact Prize, Megawatt.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you all. We are Megawatt. We are creating a new green energy asset class in DeFi markets. So as some of you already know, as some of you already know, we are building these battery energy storage systems in real life. What we do is we buy energy during the night when the prices are low. We store it in the battery and then we sell it during the day at peak hours. So this is one part of the revenue stream. The other one comes from grid balancing, because we are building these systems in Southeastern Europe where grids are overly capacitated. So we are also solving a problem for the government there. Why did we... Oh, sorry. So we are basically like bringing these TradFi systems that we built real life now to DeFi, and therefore enabling access to this very conservative energy market to crypto retail and to institutions on chain. So why XRPL? It's first of all credibility. It's environmentally friendly chain, which also collides with our green initiative, green narrative. Fast transactions, low fees, and it's a regulatory and compliant environment, which is also good for us because we have a KYC gated protocol. So that's, you can see the dashboard here of a Vault details page. You will have the relevant metrics on top. The APY, state of the charge, it will be in real time. Also the revenue will come real time. Battery health is important here because we have degradation 2% per year. So after 10 years, they will still be at 80%, but we will use the 5.5% from the yield to refresh the gear after 10 years. So once the Vault is deployed, it's indefinite. Yeah, our GTM will be in two phases. First one will be the seed Vault, just a one-time offer. What we will do here is we will have a bit higher yield. And because we don't have a token, and we had to find a way how to incentivize the early adopters here. So a higher yield and up to 1% extra yield for every new standard vault that will be operational. And we will also deploy the protocol to RWA-friendly blockchains like XRPL, for example. What's next for us? We want to expand to emerging markets like South America, Brazil in particular, and Asia as well. They have similar problems there. We want to also securitize the cash flow, so we lose the illiquid problem that you have in the beginning as a RWA protocol. Yeah, that's it. It was a quick pitch, so if anyone is interested, we can have a discussion later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Bravo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Florian. I work at XRPL Commons team with David and our incredible team in Paris. I would like to explain explain my story. 2 years ago, I went to the hackathon of Paris Blockchain Week, but I didn't win. But I meet David and her amazing team, and after a few moments time, they hear me to be a developer, and after to be manage some different tasks. And it's funny today to be here for presenting the winner of this hackathon. And I will introduce the Boundless prize. Boundless is a zero knowledge proof on XRPL Ledger. It's very new. And please welcome a serious team, and they're going to tell you what they have do during this hackathon. Please, serious team, welcome.
So, hello everyone. So let's begin with a small question. Imagine if you can land data the same way you land crypto in Aave. Not sell it, not lose it, land it, encrypt it temporarily with collateral and get paid every time someone uses it. So let's rewind a little bit and ask ourselves why we need this to exist. In our days, AI dataset is one of the most valuable digital assets in the world. So in August 2025, an internal leaked document has revealed that Meta scrapped millions of websites to train their models without permission. So that's why we created Cirrus. Cirrus is a DeFi infrastructure to land data, where you can land your data with full control of it and without losing every permission or every control of it. So to explain it in a use case, which is a real use case, imagine an hospital in Paris. The hospital has years of anonymous reports, MRIs, blood tests, and all. So basically, the problem here is that they can't share it because this research has valuable in the market, which is enormous. So they need to share it securely. That's when Cirrus came in.
Now I will explain you quickly how works are up. So with the example of the hospital with access are up, and they will put their datasets into our app. It will be encrypted automatically, and a Zika proof will be generated who prove the quality of the datasets. Everything will be put into an MP token. The MP token into the vault for lending borrowing on XRP. Then the borrowers, they can go on our app too, go on the marketplace, choose the dataset they want to use, pay for borrow, and the dataset will be decrypted at the payment automatically. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Denis Angell. I am a core developer for the XRP Ledger. I've been developing for 7 years now. I have a number of amendments on the XRPL Ledger. The first one is token escrow, which is currently live. It allows users to escrow their IOU or MPT tokens. The second one is batch, which allows users to batch up to 8 transactions together. It is currently being audited and should go live later this year. And then finally, smart contracts. This one is very exciting, and I'm spearheading this with Mayuka from RippleX. But enough about me. I'm here to introduce the winners of the main event of the hackathon. The second place winners are Latch. I need this?
Hi everyone, my name is Mateusz. So, there's over $1 billion of tokenized assets on XRPL, but still no way to borrow against any of it. We are changing that. I know this issue firsthand. I'm a CTO of Soil, and just this Feb we launched RLUSD yield vaults, 72 hours, all sold out. And in the future, platforms such as Soil will need to issue LP tokens, which will be directed by the XLS 66 lending amendment, now in the voting process, coming to XRP Ledger. But there won't be anything to do with the LP tokens issued by the vault operators such as Soil. We are changing that in three simple steps. So first, once you already received a LP token, which represents a tokenized asset, you lock them with Latch. Then our Oracle prices it in. We assess the health of those assets and issue a loan using the LP tokens as collateral. The settlement layer happens if the position is repaid on time. If not, we are liquidating the position. We build it entirely with XRPL primitives, so no smart contracts involved. using 6 ones. What's interesting, just a couple of days ago, Ripple announced XLS 100 spec, which is about conditional escrow. We already had it built in Clutch, in Latch. However, this XLS spec is supporting our full cycle solution, so we'll be building lending protocol such as this using entirely on-chain native XRPL primitives. But let me show you how it works. Oh, I think you gotta excuse me because the video is not playing. Yeah, but the process is very simple. You basically connect your wallet, you deposit your LP tokens issued either by operators such as Soil or our future partners, and yeah, our Oracle prices then issues a loan. That's it. 3 simple steps. If the position is repaid on time, the transaction is completed. We have a great team to accomplish this vision. Myself, I'm a CTO of Soil, already deep in the DeFi space. My partner, Miłosz, is a managing partner of Nextrope, which is a digital asset infrastructure provider. And yeah, already live on the testnet, so I highly encourage you guys to test us out on Latch. We have our first partner, chatting with many more, and our core mission is about, again, unlocking additional liquidity for all tokenized assets on XRPL Ledger. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I don't need that. All right, and now for the main event, the winners of the 2026 Paris Blockchain Week sponsored hackathon sponsored by XRPL Commons is CheckFi.
Thank you all. I know it's been a very long time. I'm gonna keep it really short, but I'm gonna tell you a story as well, right? So we are CheckFi. We were a team of 3. We came to the hackathon, had crazy fun, but we wanted to solve something that we were actually facing in our lives. So we built a private ZK scored invoice factoring platform on XRPL. What that exactly is going to be this. Okay, before that, my name is Fabian. I used to work in the ground funding space with Gitcoin, Optimism, and some time back. And then later on, I started building communities and started working on a lot of hackathons, met a lot of brilliant people. And then later, currently, I'm working on this voice AI agent platform. One of the problems that I started facing initially when I started raising funds was to be running a voice AI platform, you need a lot of money to run the servers. And as a business, we weren't really making any money. And our first client was a huge client, and we didn't really have money to buy the service. Because at the end of the month, you'll get paid for your invoices, right? You as a business, as a consultant firm, you are going to get paid at the end of the month, like whatever your tenure is actually going to be. So we had a very, very unique problem. I wanted money to buy the servers, but where do I get the money if I'm going to get paid at the end of the 30-day period? So that's where we started, right? This not just applies to me, but to pretty much all small-scale businesses or early-stage companies that want to eventually start making or bootstrapping themselves. You could be a small business in LATAM or like India. So this is a huge problem, and 70 to 80% of businesses are like MSMEs and like small-scale businesses. So the main problem that we wanted to hit was small suppliers bleed cash waiting on invoices while funders fly blind on credit risk. This is not a new problem. This is a very common identified problem. In fact, companies like Stripe and a huge number of other companies are trying to solve this through invoice factoring. So what exactly invoice factoring is you basically get upfront cash for your invoice, and then funders basically give you money. So there are a few problems when you want to build something like this, right? There needs to be a strong way for debtors to give their consent for invoices, or else anyone can go claim their invoices and get funded. there needs to be privacy options on this because you don't want to reveal your invoice or your company terms to the public. And settlements and everything needs to have a proper ways to organize and keep track of. So CheckFi does exactly that. It lets suppliers get instantly paid today. Funders earn verified fixed rate yield, and ZK proofs sort of help us make the credit score trustless. You don't need to have a body doing this. So I'll come back to how exactly it works, but this is how it's going to work, right? Like, it's pretty simple. You create an invoice on our platform, and you put in your terms, your debtor, your email of your client, and put the tenure and the total invoice quantity and volume, and all the particulars are put in. Now, what happens here is once you create an invoice, you get to download a PDF or get a link. So something is interesting about this PDF that we did, and we really liked what we did. So what we did was have an embedded wallet right within the PDF. Now, because you don't want your debtor or like the person who you're going to be sending this invoice to come and sign up on this weird Web3 platform. So this PDF is an embedded wallet. All they have to do is put their email on the PDF and then click on approve. So you automatically get your approval code on your email. So you basically verify that this person is actually approving this PDF, right? So you're getting consent from them. Once that goes up approved, it basically tokenizes it on the XRPL blockchain. And this is interesting because XRPL gives us crazy primitives like XRPL walls, checks, and a few other features. So we built our entire platform on top of XRPL's basic primitives. So one other cool thing about this is that when you create an invoice, you get to choose what you want to reveal because we wanted to keep the platform composable because you might today want to reveal what your payment terms are, what your tax ID or tax information is, things like that. And the platform itself is very modular and you get to choose what you want to reveal to the public. And we have a very good interface where you get to see the whole timeline of things, look at all the transactions, creating the wall, deposits, and everything when you get repaid. Now, once your invoice is publicly verified, our backend sort of scores and gives a discount rate for your invoice. Now, this is interesting because if you have a proper track record of your invoices and maybe a payment history, you get a better discount, which means you don't have to lose in a lot of money. As an invoice, as a business, you don't want to end up losing a lot of money, and you would want to maintain your good credit score. And as a funder and as someone who is looking to get paid from the platform, you would come to this marketplace, find an invoice that you want to fund, and then based on your risk appetite, you basically fund the invoice. One other cool thing about the invoice platform itself is it's built on top of walls. So let's say there is an invoice of $100,000. You don't have to technically own the $100,000 to fund this invoice, but rather be part of the vault and then get your shares deposited on your walls. So you get a fixed rate yield on funding these invoices. So since this is directly coming from the discount on top of those invoices that the invoice supplier is going to be getting paid up front, this is not speculative. This is actual yield coming from one supply and a demand on the other side. Pretty interesting concept. And some of the primitives listed here are like the MPTs. This is all built as all basic primitives within XRPL itself. We've used multiple different layers that XRPL can offer us in terms of the tech. A very interesting way to learn about what XRPL has to offer. And in terms of how we can proceed, and this is very interesting because I tried using platforms like remote.com, Remitly, and so many different platforms. Even Stripe, now that they're moving towards blockchain with Tempo and everything, their invoice factoring platform can actually be built around smaller fintech integrations. We can actually start reaching out to a few private institutions that want to eventually start doing this. So if you're one of these, we would love to have a chat and see how we can work together. And if you want to try it out, we are at checkfi.versal.app. And yeah, that's me. If you want to connect to me on my Twitter, like you can go ahead and scan. Happy to chat with you in case you guys have follow-up questions on this. And thanks to the XRPL team for giving us this wonderful opportunity. And thanks to my team as well. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here, Romario and Leo. And wonderful. Happy to meet you all, and have a good weekend. Yeah.
Thank you. Well done. We're now about to conclude, but there are a few things that stand out that I just wanted to get back to. The first thing is, in a hackathon, you can see people who are building things that they would be using themselves. That's a total game changer, like an hypothetical use case and something that is a real use case, like I am going to use it. So they're building with meaning and with substance. The second thing is, awkwardly, it's sort of a pattern that people winning the hackathons are people who are the first-time builders on XRPL, because they don't take anything for granted. They really try to understand the philosophy of XRPL before they start building. When they do that, they discover that XRPL is a fixed function ledger that packs a lot of features that are really easy to compose, really easy to use. But if you don't spend a good amount of time looking at the specs and the documentation and how it works, you would just totally miss that. So letting behind all your preconceived ideas of what a blockchain is, looking at what the XRPL is really, is also a game changer that makes them build a project that I called XRP Elegant, which means they're using all the features that are already built in. And so with that, I would like to call all the winners to get back on stage for a final round of applause. I'm very proud of everything you built, the people who are on stage, but also the people who are in the room and hacked during the hackathon. I see a few of you here. It was a great experience to share together. So congrats to all of you. And please join me on stage for a final round of applause. You can come running. Come. I also want to extend my deepest gratitude to all the mentors. We had about 15 people volunteering for this hackathon, coming for that. So thank you. Congrats.
Welcome to Signal Week.